Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm Jenny Thomas, and I'm so excited to be with you guys all today. I'm a mama of four littles. I have twin boys and two little girls, and each of my kids have such sweet spirits, giftings, and needs, as I'm sure all of your kids do too. As I've been raising my children alongside my husband, Clay, we've overcome many obstacles, but we've also got to celebrate so many more joys. But as we've been raising our kids, we have found that we needed a community of people to come alongside us, to pray with us, to guide us, to celebrate the milestones, as I'm sure that you have found a need too. So today, I want to come together as a community and support and pray for one another. And each week, I get an opportunity to share about our journey in raising Kingdom Kids. And then we get to have a time of mentorship and community on Zoom. So, in the chat, I went ahead and put a link. If you are new here, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. Click on that link. You fill out a little bit of information, and it'll send you the Zoom link. And after I get done here, we hop on a private Zoom time where we get to pray over each other, support each other, and come together as a community. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm so excited to have you, and I'm excited to see you on the backside after this message. So, today, I just want to talk about my journey in raising Kingdom Kids. I want to talk about worry. So many times our kids come and they're worried, or they're worried about going to school, something new, something that happened. They're worried about, it's baseball tryouts, or, I've got art class, or I'm going to a new school, or doing a new activity, or it's a new church. And there's lots of worry. And so I want to talk about worry and helping our kids process, understand worry, and relieve worry. So let me start off with talking about our weekend. Last weekend, my sweet Sammy, he is always into doing projects, as I'm sure you guys know, as I've shared numerous times. Well, his project this week is he wanted to paint upstairs. We have an extra bedroom upstairs, and during all of COVID, we turned it into another office. So we had painted it white, put up the shiplap, all of that. Well, we no longer use that room, so we wanted to turn it back into an extra guest room. And so he has been so busy taking off the shiplap, and he was ready to paint. He really, really wanted to paint on Thursday, but we had a stomach bug that went through, so we couldn't paint Thursday. And so Saturday morning, he woke up so early. And as soon as I got out of bed at 6:30, he had a list made of what he needed from Sharon Williams. So that way we could go get the tape, get the whole mat so then it wouldn't get on the carpet. We already had the paint, but he needed some different paint supplies, and I looked at what we had and what he needed. And so we go, it opens up at 8 o'clock. We go get me my Starbucks and stop right at 8 o'clock and run in and grab everything that he needs. And he had so much excitement. It was amazing to see. And we come back home, and that sweet boy taped everything up, set it all up, got the ladders, and he started painting. And painting, that room's big, and started painting and painting and painting. And I checked on him a few times, and nope, mom, I'm good. I got this. And he continued and continued. And around 11 o'clock, he came down and had lunch. And then he went back up. And by afternoon, he's like, Mom, my arms are tired, which I was surprised that he was continuing to paint so long. And so, it was one of those things that I was just like, oh my gosh, thank you. I can't believe you're doing this. And, throughout the day, he was done. He was tired. He was exhausted. It's like, okay, no big deal. This is not just a 1 day project. We'll continue doing this. Do you care if I go paint? So I went up and painted for a while and got the very top edges. And then Clay went and painted for a little bit. And, it needs another coat. So we let it dry overnight, and we're just planning to paint it the next day. And to us, it was no big deal. Well, that night they wanted to camp out. And so everybody has their sleeping bags and camping out in our room. And it's bedtime, and we were praying and talking. And, we shut off the lights. And Sam says, Mom, I just need to really apologize to you. I'm like, okay, what do you need to apologize for? I'm really sorry that I didn't complete the project, that I didn't finish painting it all, that I didn't clean it up, that it's still set up there. I'm like, sweetheart, it's okay. It's no big deal. No, it's okay, Mom. I'm really sorry. Please give me another chance. And to me, it just took a knife to my heart. And I'm like, sweetheart, you don't need to apologize. That was no big deal. This project is huge and it's going to take a few days. And he's like, yeah, but I'm just worried a lot, mom. And I'm just worried and I can't sleep. And so I just want to tell you I'm really sorry and that I promise I'm really responsible and that I'll finish the project. And it just shocked me going, oh my gosh, my child is sitting here worried about something so little that he shouldn't be. And I started talking with them and I'm like, well, why are you worried? Well, because mom, I didn't complete my project. And, if I don't complete projects, then we don't get more privileges. And so I really want those privileges. What? And I just kind of sat there in awe for a second. So I hop out of bed and I go and I sit down with him. And sweet boy just comes and I just hold him in my lap. And I'm like, tell me more, my love. Tell me more. And he said, well, he's like, there's different times where if I haven't picked up or I haven't done things, then, I don't get more opportunities to do it. And I said, well, tell me when. And he said, well, at school, I didn't get my whole desk cleaned up. So I didn't get the opportunity to go and, play this game that they have on the computer, this IXL. Okay, well, why didn't you get your desk cleaned up? Well, I was still finishing my homework and some people were done. So it was an extra privilege. Well, honey, that's no big deal. Your first priority is, getting your homework done and the work. Then you clean your desk. And if there's extra time, that's okay. I said, but why this? And he said, well, there was one time where I didn't get all my wood and stuff picked up. And so I didn't get the privilege of getting to go and do the next project. And I don't remember that, but I guess there was another project. And I said, nope, we can't do it until you have this picked up. And he held on to that. And we started talking more and just listening, saying, oh my gosh, I'm sorry if I set the expectation that this whole room needed to be painted in one day. And he's like, no, you didn't. I just thought that it should be done. And I was like, okay. And I said, honey, this is big. You're 9 years old. You can't paint this whole room by yourself in 9 days. In one day. I mean, that's too much for me. And I'm almost 40. And that you did such amazing work. You went and got the stuff, you made the list, you planned it out, you painted for hours. And he just continued to worry. And so I listened to each of it. And it was all worried that he wouldn't get that opportunity again, worried that he wouldn't get to paint again. And he loves to paint. And so I sat there and I let him just get it out and process it and just started speaking life into the things that he was so worried about or, the expectations that he set on himself. It wasn't the expectations that we had set, but he had set. But part of that was I didn't explain the whole picture and it caused us worry. And his stomach was hurting and he wasn't sleeping and he was stewing over it and thought he needed to apologize. And so that night I just held him and we prayed about it. And I prayed about it with me and my communication with him. And then we listened to this song, the song of Do Not Worry by Ellie Holcomb. And the reason I played that song is music speaks to him. It speaks loud to him. And so I played it. And in the song, it talks about how we shouldn't worry about a thing. Just like Matthew 6, verses 24 through 34. It talks about that, not to worry about a thing because God has it. And in that song, it says, just look around you and try to listen to the song creation sings. And so I let him listen to that song. And about the third time through, I paused it and I said, sweet boy, what is God telling you right now? God's singing to you. What is he telling you? And he sat there and it was quiet for a long time. And I just sat and just waited. And he said, I guess I hear God saying that he's proud of me, that he can't believe that I painted and did as much as I did, that I'm smart, that I shouldn't worry, that also you and daddy are proud of me. I'm like, that's right. And do you know how special you are? And do you know how big of a project you have? And we just started speaking life. And I think that's so important as parents that we speak into that worry, that we speak life into what that worry is. So if your kids have worry, if your kids have that and wonder, You know, what is it? What are they worrying about? How do you guys handle it? What are some things that you guys do? As I was processing through it, and I'll be honest, I was up a lot of the night just thinking through it all. What do we do? How do we raise our kids to not worry? Worry is kind of part of our human nature. And so it's going to come up. So when I processed it, it was like, how do we handle this? And so, you know what? The things that I really want you guys to do as you're raising kingdom kids, when worry, when anxiety, when this whole thoughts just start spinning, I want you to stop in that moment. Stop in that moment, embrace them and listen. Spend that time with them. That keeps that bond strong between you and your child and God. And it creates a moment for them to open up naturally to you and to really speak everything that's on their mind. Let them be open and honest. And that's what happened with Sam. I just sat down, I embraced him. Ask them what's on their mind. Help them label what they are thinking. What are they feeling? They might not have a lot to say. It may only be a word or two, or sometimes they don't want to. But let them know, hey, I'm here. I want to hear it. I want you to talk through this with me. Because it's important to listen and listen with that patience. Patience is key with worry because sometimes they need that time to kind of process and say, you know what, my mama asked me this question, but what are my thoughts and feelings? How can I put this into words? How can I express this? And as you're listening with patience, ask more questions as they start speaking. Help them to talk it out and process it. So then when it occurs again, they know the truth. They know how to handle it. But allow them to process. We can't give too much advice. We got to let them confide in us and listen calmly. Because I would have shut Sam down if I said, no, that is not true. You know what? Nope. You shouldn't think that way. No, I wanted to validate his feelings. I wanted him to know that it's okay to have feelings. But let's look at this in a different angle. Let's process through this and process through it in a healthy way. And so that's what we did. We started validating, you know what? I can see where this worry would come from. But how can we handle this better? How can we process this differently? Make them feel capable that they can process these feelings because there's going to be more times that they have it, more times that this worry, this anxiety, this questioning comes out. And so ask those questions, help them to handle it. So I asked Sam, as we got through all of this, and towards the end, he was calm. He didn't worry anymore. He knew he was loved. He knew the truth. And I said, sweet boy, what are you going to do next time this worry comes? When that little tummy starts rumbling and having that feeling, what are you going to do? And he said, I'm going to talk to God, but I'm also going to come and talk to you, mommy. I'm going to think through the questions of why do I feel this way? What am I really thinking? Is this truth? And I think that's so important to remind him to walk through it. What are those questions? And it's okay to have this worry, but we got to process it and process it healthy. Help them practice, and encourage them, praise them. I'm so proud of you for recognizing it. But each time it'll get better and easier and they'll process it differently. They need to relax and not continue to thread on it and think through it and overanalyze it. Because I'll tell you, sometimes I overanalyze it too. But encourage them. And I told Sam, I'm so proud of you for coming, for being honest, for talking through it, for giving it to God. I told him, there are things that I worry about. And I shared with him the things that I've worried and how I process it. Because sometimes they need to know that this is normal. But God provides a way for us not to have to worry. God shows us and we can give it to him. And then those little bubbles in the tummy don't have to happen. And I also asked him, what was the good part about today? What did you enjoy? because there was so much excitement that morning. There was so much excitement all week. And I didn't want this worry to take over all that excitement, all of the good things that occurred and happened in that day. I don't want one worry to take over 10 good things. And so I was asking him, what are the good things? Tell me about your day. He said, "Oh, mom, it was so fun to go to Sherwin-Williams. And did you know they have these different drape cloths? And you know what? Next time I paint, I want to try this other stand and I want to try this different roller. I wonder if I took this little scraper and used this roller, if it would get better line at the bottom." And he just went through all the things and how much he loves to paint and the different colors. And he didn't know that there's all these different samples that you can get, that you didn't just have to get the big buckets. And that he was proud that he could do that because, mom, not very many 9-year-olds could do that, right, mom? I'm like, you're right. Not for many 9-year-olds I could just trust and just send to a room and say, sure, go paint, do it yourself. I'm fine with that. And, he's like, I'm really responsible. And I'm a good painter too, mom. I'm going to be a good farmer because I can paint. So then I'll be able to paint my barn. And he just carried on and on and on. And it was so important to help them see the good things out of it. But before he went to bed, I made sure that he was comforted and that worry was gone. So help them find ways that they can get rid of the worry. What helps them with that? Is it praying? Is it reading the Bible? Is it music? Is it some calming breaths? Is it just, I don't know, laying there thinking through it and giving it to God? I don't know what your child needs, but I want you to know. I want you to know your child so well that you can walk him through that or her through that and give him that key. Because I think about it, when they go and they're in college and they're by themselves and you can't go pick them up and hold them like you want to, like I can right now. You want them to have that installed, to have that foundation of, you know what? I'm getting worried, I'm getting anxious because I have a big test that I'm trying to figure this out. What are they going to turn to? Give them that key. So you know what, when it happens, you know what? Let me grab this key out of the drawer and I'm going to unlock it. Because you know what? That's not going to keep me anymore. I'm going to go play my piano. I'm going to go sing. I'm going to go worship. I'm going to go read my Bible. I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to dance. When Addie's worried, we dance because that's her thing. Lucas, he wants me just to pray and hold him. And so, each child is going to be different. But it's important to help them understand what they can do to soothe it. And guys, I'm going to share the song with you. I'm going to share the song that I played for Samuel, just so you guys know. It's simple things, simple words that can help them. And I want you to think through this song. So give me a second, and I am going to present and share my screen here. And I want you to listen through this.
See the birds that are singing in the spring air. They're giving everything they need. They don't worry where their next meal will come from. They don't worry about a thing. So just look around you, try to listen to the song creation sings. Don't you worry, 'cause you're in the hands of the God who made everything. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See the flowers in their colorful beauty. They're dressed better than a king. They don't worry about what they should wear, no. They don't worry about a thing. So just look around you, try to listen to the song creation sings. And don't you worry, 'cause you're in the hands of the God who made everything. Because you're not a bird and you're not a flower. You don't have petals or wings. But there is good news, you're worth so much more to the God who made everything. Ooh, 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 ooh. Mm-hmm. today or tomorrow and the storms that they might bring. Try to remember that you're in the hands of the God who made every single thing. Now just remember, you're not a bird and you're not a flower. You don't have petals or wings. But there's good news, because you're worth so much more to the God who made everything.
As I played that song, it just reminded me how important our kids are. They're not a bird, they're not a flower, but there's so much more. And so we as parents have to show them, have to tell them, and have to help them understand, just like in Matthew's, that there's so much more, that we don't have to worry because God's got it. He cares about us so much more than anything we can ever imagine. So, guys, I want to continue this conversation. I want to help support you and your kids as they overcome their worry and come up with ways that they can handle it, that they can handle it healthy. And so, you know what? Let's hop on Zoom. I'm going to put the link down in the chat again. And let's walk through this as parents and continue this conversation in our community. And guys, I just want to invite any of you that are new, hop on this. We want to come. We want to chat with you guys because nobody needs to worry. Our kids, they are so valuable to the God who knows everything. He's our everything. All right, guys, I will see you on the backside.